Well, good morning and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Wednesday, August 3rd, the 18th week of Ordinary Time, and the feast day of Saint Nicodemus, who is present in John's Gospel three times and is very curious about Jesus and his teachings and the miracles and everything. In fact, the Chosen has a great scene that is one of my favorite scenes whenever Jesus and Nicodemus are talking and trying to learn and understand what Jesus is all about. Because Nicodemus is, of course, not, he's a Pharisee and a member of the Sanhedrin. So he's not really, he's not a Jew and he's not practicing the same religion or the same faith as Jesus, but he's curious because there's something different about Jesus, of course. But yeah, St. Nicodemus, he helped take Jesus down from the cross and prepare him for burial, according to John's Gospel. And eventually, of course, he gave himself over to Jesus, even though he questioned and doubted a lot in the beginning. And for that reason, St. Nicodemus is the patron saint of curiosity, which is pretty cool. Today's Gospel is from Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 through 28. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen. Then Jesus went from that place and withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a Canaanite woman of that district came and called out, "Have pity on me, Lord, Son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." But he did not say a word in answer to her. His disciples came and asked him, "Send her away, for she keeps calling out after us." He said in reply, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But the woman came and did him homage, saying, "Lord, help me." He said in reply, "It is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Please, Lord, for even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table of their masters." Then Jesus said to her in reply, "O woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And her daughter was healed from that hour. So we have this Canaanite woman's faith. And as you read through this gospel, you can see that the disciples are present here. And Jesus is giving them time to take in what's all taking place. First of all, Jesus is interacting with a woman, which is unheard of in that time. Women were very silent, didn't interact with men during that time period. And so Jesus is taking time to hear this woman out. But then after the woman asks and begs Jesus for help, and have pity on me, Lord. My daughter is tormented by a demon. So she's crying out to the Lord. And it says here that he did not say a word in answer to her. So Jesus is silent. And it's almost like he's inviting and testing the heart of his disciples through this encounter of the Canaanite woman. So then, of course, the disciples open their mouth and they ask him, "Send her away, for she keeps calling out after us." So then even though Jesus is seemingly talking to the Canaanite woman, he's actually talking to the disciples, because what we hear through other people's conversation matters. Some might call it eavesdropping, but it's not if you're part of the experience, part of the encounter, part of what's taking place right here. And so Jesus is teaching them that even though, he's supposed to be only for the house of Israel, but Jesus is teaching them in this very moment that there are no limitations in God's mercy, in God's love, and his service. Like he came to die on the cross for absolutely everyone, if they are open to it, which is why we are called to open our hearts to the Lord, no matter who we are. He's not just calling the house of Israel. He's not just calling special people. He's calling everyone, and Jesus came to save everyone. Even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table of their masters. So if the dogs are getting taken care of, who are considered, just animals, unimportant people, if even the dogs are taken care of, why would Jesus not take care of you and me and everybody else who might be considered unworthy of Jesus' love? Because we are all worthy of it. So the challenge, I think, here is, one, embrace the moments of silence, and also embrace all interactions and divine encounters that we have with other people, because whether or not the conversation is with that specific person in that one-on-one dialogue, bear in mind that there are other people most times around who are listening. So that conversation is a witness of faith of other people. So, with all that being said, have a great day. God bless. And keep it real. In the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen.